Well, hopefully you guys have got your coffee and you got 10 minutes so we can just see what old G RAThbun's up to today. Yeah, it's another day, all right. You remember the last video? That was part 1 of getting this fender to look like this. We took the dents out, sanded it down, threw a little paint on it. But now we're going to get into part 2. We're going to do some work on the bearings on this Dolly. Hope this helps you guys out. Stay tuned, because here it comes. Well, here we go, guys. Trying to shut off the music, actually. But we're going to dive into that right now. Alrighty. Hopefully you can see everything. I think you can. Okay, take that off. You see, I've already got the grease in there, so we're gonna have to wipe that off, because I greased her good. Then we'll take that apart. Oh, there's your grease zert right here. That's how you grease it. I got other videos on showing how to do that, so I didn't show you. You can pull them up on wheel bearing, packing wheel bearings on trailers, I think it is. But what we're going to do is we're going to pull that little pin out. We're going to use dikes, side cutters, whatever you call it, in your neck of the woods. Going to straighten out this because they're bent over so they don't come back out. There, that one's trying to bend that way. Okay, we want to get it all the way straight, as straight as we can. It is slippery. Ha! Must be the grease. There we go. Okay, we'll take that up that way. It's two-pronged thing coming through there. Cotter key. If you don't know what a cotter key is, you may not want to do this job, because, you know, you got to have a little knowledge on stuff if you're going to do it. And let's see. I think I need to squeeze them two together. You guys got any of these pliers? They're really handy when they're handy, but if they're not, yeah, not always handy. A good old pair of pliers is hard to beat, but I don't want to get up and get any. Okay, now then, we're going to pull that out. I got my rags and everything down here on the ground. You can't see them, so I can lay all these parts on there without them getting dirty. You turn your side cutters this way, and you can just pull that out just like that. And then you can straighten it out when you get it out, because you're gonna want to reuse it. There we go. Just like that. That's a cotter key. If you didn't know, that is one. I'm gonna put it right there. And then we gotta loosen that up. And we got a pair of pliers around here that'll probably do that. I think these old big Bertha pliers here, it ain't tight anyway, so that's okay. It ain't supposed to be tight. I'll show you. If you hang into this video, I'll show you how I do it anyway. Maybe other people do it a different way. Now, you don't want dirt in there, so lay that on a clean rag, just like I did. Okay? Not the dirty rag, a clean one. Now then, this should just come right off like this. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Don't want to drop that. That's your bearing. You see how well that packed it? Pretty good. Now, I can pack it better with my hands out here, and I probably will. Now then, see my greasy hands? Don't get them on your brake shoes, guys. Don't get grease. You grease up your brake shoes, and you're going to find out you ain't got no brakes. You got to see what we got here. Oh, yeah. We got about probably half a shoe. We're good. This is your electronic deal there that makes it open and shut. You know, when this spreads apart like that, that's what stops your rig. Okay? On any brake, unless you have disc brakes. And then your shoe, You can see that shoe's kind of rusty in there because they haven't been using their brakes. See that? It's a little rusty in there. It ain't shiny. It will be shiny after I use it because I'll have everything going good. But everything looks good in here. I think I'm going to squirt just a little WD-40 here and there. Let me show you how I'm going to do that. Just a little. Just a little. I'm going to put a little on this joint here. Squirt. A little there. A little up there. Because these are pivot points. So all I'm doing is making sure the pivot points have a little oil on them. Anything that moves, I'm going to grease it up just that much. Don't need much, okay? Now then, I'm going to let that drip off while I get the bearing, that cleaned off. I'll clean it off. Another rag. Okay, I'm going to clean that off. Just nice and clean. You see how the grease was working it, getting it in there? It was going in there. Now, clean that all off. It wasn't leaking any grease. There's no grease in the back. If you got grease coming out of the back, you got to replace your seal. Okay, that's nice and clean. And here's your seal on the back of here. Right there's your seal. That was sealed because it wasn't leaking. Now I'm going to use the same rag. Clean that up a little bit. Like so. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry. There we go. Clean that off and out. There we go. Now I can replace that seal, pull that bearing out and reseal it. But that thing will squirt grease in there. And I'm going to do the front because it's easy. I don't want to damage my, I don't want to damage the seal because you pull that out, you ain't going to get it back in. Although I got a bunch of seals over there, you can guarantee none of them are like that. So we're just going to clean this out, repack this bearing, and then shoot some more grease back in there and get her all filled up. But that's what we're doing. And probably that's all you need to see. Let me show you this part. Okay, I've cleaned this part out. Pretty much. There's still some grease back in there, but I wanted to show you. See, this is a race. This is where your bearing fits. This bearing right here. This rides in there, which rides on the end of there, and holds your stuff together. So you want to make sure that that hasn't got no pits in it, because if it does, time to replace it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back together. Okay. Okay, guys. I'm going to show you this part right here. This is just grease. Got it at the old CarQuest place. Get that. You get some of that. Put it in your palm. Okay. Put it in your hand. You got your bearing cleaned up. So now what you do is you put that right in the palm of your hand, and you start squishing this through. Now they make machines too. I got one over there, but I want to show you this way because you ain't got one. See that? It's already starting to ooze through. You do that and you cram it in there. Take the rest off, put it back in your hand. And you keep cramming that through there like that until it starts coming out this side. Okay? And we just keep cramming that grease in there. See, it's pushing it out. It's pushing all the old grease out. But if you'd cleaned it with a solvent or something, you wouldn't have any old grease coming out. You'd just be waiting for the new grease. I didn't have any solvent. So I'm just going to keep pushing it until we get the grease, the old grease pushed through. I mean, the old grease will be out of there, and the new grease, which is a different color naturally, because it's new. And we're just going to push that through there. Push that through there. You can see it's already coming pretty good through there. Yeah, then grab a little more. This is a place you might want to use your rubber gloves. Maybe. You don't have to. I don't usually, but I had them. Why not use them? Okay, I'm getting it packed in. This is called packing your bearings. It's packing the grease right in the back of there. You see, it's all coming through. We got, you probably can't see it on the camera, but we got grease coming through in every little bearing. It's coming through the other side. That means it's packed all the way in there. Now then, we're just going to take some of this grease. You can put it on the outside of it, like so. Like that. Now then, we're going to stick that right on there. There we go. That bearing is packed. Yeah, and it used, look, you remember, seen the big old glob I used? It took it in there. Now then, I gotta clean off the washer. Should have done that first, but we're cleaning it off now. Now I'm gonna get it laid in here in my palm. I'm gonna put grease on it too. It's all got fresh grease on it now. Slide that washer on there. Now then, we got to get the bolt out. Same thing, clean it up. Okay. I think this is definitely going to be part 2 because I'm showing you the whole full Monty. Now, if you pull that seal out of the back, you'd have to pack that bearing just like you packed this one. What I did, and I ain't advising it, but I reached through and I pulled grease through it with my fingers, just pulled grease in the back of it, and because I knew it was getting greased, and I'm going to grease it again with that. Now then, I'm going to start this nut on here, like so. There we go. And that'll spin on easily. And we're going to take it in there. I'm going to go get a wrench and a clean rag. Because, yeah, that's like getting grease all over you, isn't it? Okay, there we go. Let's get another rag. That one's done. Okay, you see this big wrench? Well, I ain't using it because it's big and I can really torque it down because you don't want to. What I'm using it for, because it opens up big enough to go on that nut. That's all you need. Just go on that nut. Now I'm going to take this down. See, it's already touching. Take it down a little more and you can feel it really touching. There, it's tight. Can't move it. Well, that ain't going to work. So let's back it off. You back it off till it spins nicely. A little more, maybe. Now it's hitting that old brick. That rust is hitting it. There we go. Yeah, some of that rust came loose. But she's good there. It's no wobbling, not in and out. It spins good. We're ready to put the cotter key back in. Wherever I put it, there we go. Now that cotter key should go. Hi, hon. Cotter key should go right in. All right, let's see where she goes. Okay. Good. All right. One thing about doing this, your tools get greasy. Now then, we're just going to tap that through and then pull it through. There we go. Come on. There we go. You got to make sure that this isn't sticking out this way because you got to put your cap back on. So now we're going to clean that up a little bit so I can see it. There we go. Then we're going to take this and spread this back out again. This one up here like this. And then this one, we'll take it and move it. Spread it the other way. Like that. There we go. There we are. Okay, now then, I'm going to double grease it. Why not? Grease is one of the cheapest things next to oil you can do for maintenance on your rig. Now we're going to I'm just going to shoot the heck out of this. Put that on there. And then we're going to just pump it. Pump it. Oop, as soon as I can get it to stay on. There we go. Now what we're doing is filling that cavity in the back up with grease. It'll take a lot of grease. There you go. See it starting to ooze out the front? Right down here by my knuckle. See it? She's coming out. That means the grease, she's packed. For sure. Now you can see all that grease coming out right around there. Now if I kept going, it would turn into the red grease. That's a high-speed grease. This is just a regular old wheel bearing grease. But that's that. Now I'm going to clean it up a bit. And we'll put the cap on it. And we're going to call that done. Yeah. Let's just call that done. Yep. Turns easy. No drag. Got a little bit on the shoe, which is okay. Remember I showed you it was rusty in there because they haven't apparently been using the brakes on it. Now then you put your cap back on. And that's how you do it. That's all there is to packing the bearings. Like I said, if you got a seal, which you should have, but I had no problem with these. If you got a seal, pull that back one out, grease it just like I did the front one. And then put your new seal back in there and then you're really good to go. We're good to go on this one. Yeah, it's dragging a little on the brakes, but the bearing, it's good. There we go. Okay, that's that. We're going to call that one a good one.